Still voting no, Jeff. Big
What are
fat
we voting
no.
on here today? I haven't even looked at it.
Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our weekly board session. It's Wednesday, May 3rd, 2023. It's 9 o'clock. We're here in the Center hearing room at 555 Court Street, Northeast in Salem. As always, we start with the Pledge of Allegiance, so if you would please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We don't have anyone signed up for public comment, but we do have two proclamations this morning. And the first one is we're going to consider approval of a proclamation designating the month of May 2023 as Older Americans Month in Marion County. And Angela Plowhead here is here to tell us all about it. Angela, if you want to just go over there and introduce yourself for the record.
It's not you, Judy.
Good morning.
Good morning. So my name is Angela Plowhead. I'm a clinical psychologist who specializes in geropsychology here in Marion County, and I'm here representing Northwest Senior and Disability Services. We are a intergovernmental agency that serves seniors and adults with disabilities in 5 counties: Clatsop, Marion, Polk, Tillamook, and Yamhill. Our mission is to promote dignity, independence, and health, as well as to honor choice and empower people. Northwest SDS provides case management and eligibility services for Medicaid and SNAP programs, but also serves as an information and assistance hub for seniors and adults with disabilities. Other key programs that we provide are in-home delivered meals to housebound adults, adult protective services, licensing of adult foster homes, and health promotion. Some of our key programs that help to empower people are Oregon Project Independence, Senior Peer Mentoring, Oregon Money Management, Otago for Balance, which is to help prevent falls, and diabetes prevention programs. The reason we celebrate Older Americans Month is because almost 76,000 people in Marion County are over the age of 60. That's about 16.4% of our population. And we have a responsibility to ensure older Americans can age with dignity. We all benefit when older adults remain engaged, independent, and included. And we owe it to them to value their wisdom, celebrate their contributions, and champion their well-being.
Fabulous. Thank you. Thanks for coming, and thanks for bringing this proclamation forward. I think all of us every year look forward to this, and we all think of those folks in our lives who gave us wisdom in their older years. You know, I think of my grandparents in particular as being very important to me. My grandma lived in New York, but when she got sick, my parents moved her to Oregon, and that was a really important time for me and I think my siblings to get to spend some time with her and hear the stories of her life and yeah, just really important. So it's a good thing that we honor and recognize the older folks in our community who are doing that for lots of people today. So, Commissioner,
why are you looking at me first?
I don't know. You just seemed appropriate.
Well, it is appropriate. The thing about this proclamation that I really appreciate is the wisdom and the experience that people have brought even before me. And my dad's 90 and he drives Uber in town, so be careful. He might pick you up.
And he's super active on social media, so watch out.
Well, I don't follow his social media because he says stuff that I would not want to know. My dad is.
I think he's very enlightening.
He's pretty out there, but thank you for your support, the organization's support for people who have really contributed to our society in many ways that some has been forgotten about, and it's great that we're doing this proclamation today. So thank you.
Commissioner?
Well, I just want to say thanks for you to be here today. I serve on the board of the organization that you're speaking of, and just this Monday we had a very extensive meeting and discussion around the challenges that seniors specifically are facing in America today. But here in Oregon, the cost of living is way outside the means of the average senior, and Northwest Senior and Disability Services provides what I call gap support for individuals to thrive in our community, specifically around food insecurity. And it's just an unfortunate environment for them to have to live through, knowing that they've provided so much of their younger years to create the society and the space that we get to live in today. But I'm really grateful for Northwest Senior and Disability Services and the work that they do. So I thank you for serving on their board. You represent Marion County, is that right? On their, I'm not sure which board it is, but.
Senior Advisory Council.
Yeah, thank you for that. I'm sure there's an opening or two.
We do have a few openings.
Yeah, so if you want to give back and volunteer in our community, you can reach out to me and I'll put you in touch with Angela or the director over there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, I'll take a motion then.
All right. Mr. Chair, I move to approve a proclamation designating the month of May 2023 as Older Americans Month in Marion County.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
Potential conflict of interest.
Good. Do you want to talk about that conflict, Commissioner? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. The motion passes. All right, take us away.
All right. Before the Board of Commissioners for Marion County, Oregon, in the matter of proclaiming May 2023 as Older Americans Month in Marion County. This matter came before the Marion County Board of Commissioners at its regularly scheduled meeting on May 3rd, 2023, to proclaim May 2023 as Older Americans Month in Marion County. Whereas the citizens of Marion County include numerous older Americans who enrich and strengthen our community, and
whereas Marion County is committed to engaging and supporting older adults, their families and caregivers, and acknowledging their many ongoing valuable contributions to society. And whereas we acknowledge the importance of taking part in activities that promote physical, mental, and emotional well-being no matter one's age, and
whereas Marion County can enrich the lives of older individuals in our community by promoting home and community-based services that support independent living, involving older adults in community events and other activities, and providing opportunities for older adults to work, volunteer, learn, lead, and mentor. Now therefore, the Marion County Board of Commissioners does hereby proclaim May 2023 as Older Americans Month in Marion County. We urge residents to take time during this month to recognize older adults and the people who serve them as vital members of our community. Okay, we have the signed proclamations over there. So why don't you come, we'll give you one, and we can take
we're
a
going to take
picture.
a picture.
Alrighty, y'all ready? Let's get the flag set. 3, 2, 1, thank you.
Nick, you should have gotten a picture.
Wow.
Really?
Okay, we have another proclamation with the Sheriff's Office. We're going to consider approval of proclamation declaring May 7th through 13th, 2023 as National Corrections Professionals Week and May 6th through 12th, 2023 as Nurses Appreciation Week in Marion County. And our famous Undersheriff, Jeff Wood, and our great Commander, Tad Larson, are here to present to us. Take it away.
Thank you, Commissioners. I have to admit, Commissioner Wells, you've thrown me for a loop, so I guess my goal today is maybe a 2-1 split for all of this.
I suggested that I might not vote yes on this proclamation earlier before the meeting. I've since reconsidered. I think I'm likely to vote yes.
It has thrown me, but good morning, Commissioners. Again, for the record, my name is Jeff Wood. I serve as the Undersheriff with the Marion County Sheriff's Office, and with me is...
Good morning, Tad Larson with the Sheriff's Office. I'm in service as the jail commander.
And we are here to ask for your consideration to approve a proclamation declaring May 7th through 13th as National Corrections Professional Week and May 6th through 12th as Nurses Appreciation Week in Marion County. I will say this National Corrections Officer Proclamation Week actually was started back in 1984 with President Ronald Reagan. As far as Tad and I can remember, and that is a very long time considering how long we've been here, we've always done this proclamation for our corrections officers and our professional nursing staff. Although I'll say some of the other divisions often get or portray themselves as maybe the face of the sheriff's office organization because of the interactions with the community. It really is this body that does some of the behind-the-scenes work that really facilitates criminal justice here in Marion County. Our corrections officers are actually the highest raw number of employees that we have that are certified by the Department of Public Safety Standards and Training. They actually are the largest body of employees that we have certification-wise. And they do everything from admitting adults to our jail for our adults in custody. They do thousands of transports every year, which despite some local media attention, we actually do transportations to and from the state hospital. And we do that on a regular basis. They work in multiple divisions, not just the institutions division, but they work in our transition center, they work in our operations division. And really, there aren't a lot of steps, with the exception of law enforcement and community corrections, where they don't have a touch point within the criminal justice system and facilitating, I'll say, justice as we know it in the United States. On a brief note for our nursing staff, it'd be fair to say we have a rather sick population in terms of health conditions in the Marion County Jail. This group of professional nurses have a huge task in front of them every single day. They do it well, they do it efficiently, and they candidly don't ask for any attention. In fact, they would probably avert this proclamation altogether, but nonetheless, their efforts warrant it. They do Herculean work, and I think it deserves recognition. Commander?
Thank you, Under Sheriff. I just want to highlight some of that crossover. So in addition to that, one of the touch points where our medical unit and our security unit work very, very well together is providing the security during that medical care. So on average, we typically see about a dozen transports a month for outside consultations. And last month, in the month of April 2023, they completed 38, not including emergency transports out of the jails via ambulance. So there's a small or a large uptick for the month. One of those can account for one patient, but I just like to highlight the work. That means our deputies are screening these folks as they come into the intake and release unit. The nursing staff go do an assessment, refer them to our internal providers, and then eventually these folks were referred out. So April was a super busy month. We're hoping that will be a decline, but just wanted to provide some sort of recent relevant update as those two teams cross over. And thank you for your vote, or your consideration for your vote.
You're still lobbying them.
I know.
He's not taking it for granted. I appreciate that. I appreciate they're not taking our votes for
He's
granted.
tough. I believe you accepted the invitation already.
That's true, you're gonna feed him, so he better say yes.
I did accept that invitation. That could be kind of an awkward lunch, right? Yeah.
Especially if you said no, maybe
They'd be
they'll
like,
keep you in
yeah,
jail.
they'd be like, so you don't appreciate, so you're here for the staff appreciation lunch, but you don't appreciate us. Let's talk about that. Yeah, that could be awkward.
I'll have some people with
Yeah,
questions.
just let us know when you be there, sir.
I think there's a night one that I signed up for, like on the 17th or.
Getting into the jail is not the hard part. It's the getting out that you got to worry about. I do want to say that was a joke. That's, I do want to say we had kind of an independent assessment team come, right? And one of the things that they said, which stuck out to me, was they said they travel all across the country, looking at jails and inspecting them and making recommendations on how jails can improve. And the Marion County Jail is one of 2 county jails in the entire country that they actually recommend other folks take a look at because of how well it's run. So that's a credit to you and your team and to all the folks that do the hard work, joking aside, that keep us safe. So I just want to say thank you for that.
Thank you.
Commissioners?
Yeah, echo that. It's a tough job. Great job, though. I remember my first time touring the jail and how clean it was. And even since then, it's even the improvements that have been made, and thanks to you and our facilities department. I'll never forget the day that I was working with facilities, and I noticed the floors outside the door were dirtier than the floors inside the door of the jail. So it was quite remarkable how clean and organized you keep it. So until we open D block, and I go, oops.
That's
Yeah.
the mental health unit. right? Folks that
Well,
should be
tough-
in the state
it's the
hospital.
tough block is
But
what I
have
would
not
say.
been in the state hospital
Yeah.
because the state hospital has not been
Thanks to
accepting them the way they should, and we've spoken a lot about that. So,
So, Mr. Chair, if you're ready?
Commissioner Bethel, do
No?
you want to share anything?
Sorry.
before we-
I mean, I'll echo everything that you just said, but also I'd just like to say that I think it's important that the public knows that on our community correction side, we operate one of the most extensively, professionally run community restoration initiatives, I think, in the state of Oregon. We employ a lot of community corrections officers because we really do believe in the dignity of individuals, and we don't believe in incarceration, and we hope that people can be restored, and that the teams that you both oversee are instrumental in the success of these individuals who have had a run-in with the law or, you know, committed crimes for whatever reason. And I would say that the recidivism rate for Marion County being as low as it is really a testament to the value that the individuals that work for Marion County place on the lives of not just the individuals that have crossed the path in the doorway of the jail, but also their families, and what that means to our community. So I'm super proud. I had no idea before I was a commissioner the work that goes into community corrections inside and outside the jail, and I'm very proud of the work that's done here, and very proud that it's a significant portion of the budget, our general fund budget here, that we invest in as commissioners, because it is very important to the lives of our entire citizenry across Marion County. So I think that they feel that from us when we see them. They're all very interactive and appreciative. In fact, I consider most of them my friends, and so I'm grateful for the relationships that we get to have. But it's mostly because you guys are great leaders.
Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Cameron, I think it's your turn.
Mr. Chair, I'll move that we approve a proclamation declaring May 7th through the 13th, 2023 as National Corrections Professional Week, and May 6th through the 12th, 2023 as Nurses Appreciation Week in Marion County.
Do you want me to go?
You got to second the motion.
Oh, I'm sorry, I second the motion.
We have a
I was like,
motion
are we
and a
reading
second.
it?
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. Now you can start.
All right, so before the Board of Commissioners from Marion County in the matter of proclaiming May 7th through the 13th, 2023 as National Corrections Professional Week, and May 6th through the 12th, 2023 as Nurses Appreciation Week in Marion County. Proclamation reads, this matter came before the Marion County Board of Commissioners at its regularly scheduled meeting on Wednesday, May 3rd, 2023, to proclaim the week of May 7th through the 13th, 2023 as Corrections Professional Week, and May 6th through the 12th, 2023 as Nurses Appreciation Week. Whereas the deputies, staff, and nurses of the Institution Division of the Marion County Sheriff's Office play an essential role in safeguarding the rights of citizens and residents of Marion County, and
Whereas it is important that all citizens and residents understand the duties, responsibilities, hazards, and dedication of their corrections professionals and nurses. And whereas all members of the institution's division of the Marion County Sheriff's Office unceasingly provide a vital public service and maintain the highest standard of correctional operations and health services. Now,
Therefore, the Marion County Board of Commissioners, in gratitude for the dedicated public service and professionalism, hereby proclaim the week of May 7th through 13th, 2023 as Corrections Professional Week, and the week of May 6th through 12th, 2023 as Nurses Appreciation Week in Marion County, dated at Salem, Oregon, this third day of May, 2023. All right.
are y'all ready for your photo? It's not a mugshot, at least.
Commander Larson was just really expressing
Commander
a desire to have a photo
loves
taken.
Photos.
Yeah, I think we'll get our public information officer.
Loves photos.
But you may be more photogenic. He's just a lot taller than all of us. We don't like him in pictures. All right.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving right along, next up we have a presentation from SEPCOR, a quarterly report. Adam, why don't you introduce the team?
Good morning, Commissioners. This is Adam Franco, Community Services, here to introduce SEDCOR as they do their quarterly presentation on their business retention and expansion work for the county. SEDCOR is currently funded with a 5-year grant through Lotto dollars for $160,000 a year, and this is their quarterly report for May. Here with SEDCOR is Eric Anderson, President, and Nick Harville, Marion County Business Retention and Expansion Manager.
That's a beautiful photo. Where is it? Do you know where it's from?
It is in Marion County. So, just in case anybody recognizes specific hops or fences, I want to be sure that.
North Marion County, almost certainly.
Actually, it kind of looks like it's down by the Wheatland
PowerPoint's
Ferry.
on the bottom
Down
if
there,
you wanna use that one
Zelinsky's and own them.
Oh,
a bunch
thank you.
of
Yep.
hops over there. Anyway, it's beautiful.
There we go. Yeah, it's actually a pleasure every quarter when we put the reports together to find another kind of county piece of facet of agriculture to feature as the background photo. Good morning. I'm Eric Anderson with SEDCOR.
Nick Harville with SEDCOR.
And thank you for having us here today to talk about what we've been doing the first quarter of this year. I think you all know what we do, but
Yeah.
we're here to talk about some of the activities around business retention and expansion specifically, and then some other things we're involved in that we know are of interest to the commission. Nick, do you want to start with the Sam Canyon update?
The shed build reached its 150 shed goal for people up in the canyon, thanks to a lot of donations, and from the NAWIC chapter here in Salem, Julie Fiscoli, and the National Association of Women in Construction to accomplish that goal. Marv Shetler gave us the room to build the sheds in, as it was a good thing for the winter. We currently have a construction liaison who is retired and was in the construction business. He had worked for Kaufman. He retired from working as a project manager for Rich Duncan. Carl has been familiarizing himself with a bunch of the houses and the needs with the case managers so far. And we're trying to work with the future of the money to rebuild the last 90 to 100 homes up in the canyon. We've been very successful. I did send out, I have a long-term recovery group meeting that starts in about 10 minutes. But this morning on KGW, there was actually a phone app. It's a new phone app. A guy in California created it. I loaded it on my phone already this morning, but it gives you minute-to-minute reports on if anything's happening. And you can pick the county that you want it to report from. It's pretty nice. And it's mostly retired firefighters that are listening to scanners, radio, watching the maps. So I think it may be a real benefit to people in the future. But yeah, recovery continues. We've been meeting with Adam and Kelly about a business grant program, possibly for the future. I had a group send me some nice drawings and 3D renderings of a hotel they would like to do up in Mahama, actually along the river, 74 rooms.
Wow.
I did send it to a Japanese company that was looking to develop a destination property somewhere in Oregon. They're taking a look at it, but yeah, it would be tough to permit a 74-room hotel with no water, no sewer, currently, but there's always the potential.
Mahama. Mahama?
Yeah.
And, our contract with the county, as you know, is for business retention expansion services. So we'll start with the BRE, and Nick has been trying to keep us all posted on the activities in just one community and how interrelated several projects are, and now that they're coming to fruition, a good visual to try to go through with us.
Yeah, this is Donald. I won't go through everything. Just suffice it to say that two companies are doing some major developing in the city limits and outside the city limits of Donald. There has been a purchase made of property, not the business, but the property of one. That will eventually be turned into a trust plant and a distribution center. The same company owns 15 acres, as you can see. It's called Donald One. They're behind the Wilco Distribution Center and HGO, Hazelnut Growers. His intent is to build a warehouse there for lease, and it has rail service. He wants to put in a spur. And I've helped him locate a gentleman who has experience in putting in spurs. He's a railroad engineer, actually. Next to Donald 2 is 139 acres of, there's been an acquisition of 139 acres to put a facility on that will increase the efficiencies of the manufacturer that's going to develop it. He's also agreed to put in a building for a vertical agriculture grow facility. I think it's probably going to be close to a $30 million project. That is actually that project would be just outside the urban growth boundaries of Donald. That they need for the equipment that they're building now, they need area to test them in and to work with them in, which they don't have now. And it's really inconvenient. It's hard for them. So that's just in Donald. But there's a lot going on in the county. We should be very happy with all the development that's going on in the county.
It's exciting too with that vertical agriculture project. It's the technology is actually a business that we've first were introduced to through our ag tech work, and kind of coincidentally it came together with a Marion County manufacturer and building owner. So it's nice to see these things kind of building on each other.
Good synergy.
What was, Mr. Chair, if I may, the purple one down, or the whatever color that was
The
down?
housing development.
Down at the bottom?
No, the purple one is the new GK machine location. So he's moving from the northern location to the southern location so they can have a larger acreage space to test the equipment that they build.
So, okay.
Nick did me a favor and took me up there on a tour because my daughter wants to be in welding and manufacturing, and the owner is very interested in young youth coming up for them to be trained and licensed and of course work for him.
Yeah.
And it was a fascinating tour.
Yeah, they do some amazing things.
Yeah.
In a little
Make
town
Gary?
of Donald,
Oh yeah.
it's amazing what GK actually puts out all over the world.
I should have brought my
so-
little bicycle. Shoot, it's upstairs.
I
So
just found mine
there's
from
this.
one of my tours.
It's like I don't even know. I'm not very good at math, but
It's
it's
about the size of your thumb.
it's less
Yeah.
than that.
Yeah.
Maybe my pinky, and he made it on this laser machine. But really what they make is these giant agriculture machines the size of my house. But it was really interesting to see this little tiny piece of metal and then this giant machine. It was great.
We do have a lot of that expertise in the region as well. We'll talk about that in a second
Yeah.
here. Just a couple other business retention expansion projects that you'll be hearing more about in the future. Everfab has submitted their initial paperwork for an expansion of their facility in Almsville. It looks like we'll be working with the Rural Industrial Property Tax Incentive for that. It's basically doubling their space with the new building. And looking at about 20 new jobs associated with it as well. So, and Forever Fab is, they make fiberglass surrounds for bathroom fixtures, showers and bathtubs.
Right.
Elvin is another one I was referring to. This is for Elvin Forge products. They've applied for the enterprise zone for a project that they have for new equipment. It's new CNC equipment, but getting to Commissioner's point about details, this is a Marion County business that will be making, technical term, a widget that is used in every, 5 of them are used in every SpaceX satellite that's going into, for telecommunications. And SpaceX, I think, has, I'm trying to remember the number, I think it's 70, they have permission from the FCC for another 7,000 launches for satellites in the future. So these little widgets will be made here in the region as well. So it's one of the things that we're really trying to promote at SEDCOR is we just have no idea whether it's soy sauce or satellite parts, what's really being made in the region. We have a lot to be proud of. Finally, we're working on this to have some sort of event coming up. Natural Plant Products is the trade name of the Oregon meadow foam growers, and I know we've talked about this project before, but we just got to take a tour. That's their pilot operation that we've got showing here that they've set up in their facility. They, as a reminder, the Meadow Foam Growers Co-op had, since its inception, basically been sending their product down to, I think, Southern California and Arizona to be refined into an oil that then is sent overseas, mostly for makeup and cosmetics industry. And they made the decision to add that value here in Marion County. I'm trying to remember how many meadow foam growers there are in the co-ops, like 40 something, I believe, and most of them are here in the valley. And they are setting up, this is their pilot operation to get their process down, but they've got all their equipment in. That's another enterprise zone project. But we look forward to helping them host a tour in the future just to get people to know what they do. And once again, value-added agriculture is such an important part of what we try to do here in the region. On the recruitment side, I know at least Commissioner Willis and Commissioner Bethel had toured the plant with me, but we got a chance to take another look at the former Norpac facility in Staten with the new owners, representatives of IRG, the Industrial Realty Group. And as you can see from their plan here, they've got some ambitious ideas to take that single-use facility and divvy it up into space for a variety of different users. So 600,000 square feet of spec manufacturing space, which will hopefully create some good jobs and diversify the economy of Staten. And they are originally targeting, at least considering targeting food processing, just because they've got so much infrastructure in place for food in that facility. But it'll be exciting to see, as you walk around there, the different nooks and crannies that kind of present opportunities for a specific business to come in. So we'll be looking forward to working with them to bring some businesses to Staten. We mentioned vertical agriculture. One of the recent projects that has gotten some nibbles from Business Oregon, at least, from our response, has been another vertical agriculture project. Company looking for a 140,000 square foot facility with 40 foot ceilings for a 40-foot capacity for that type of operation. One of the requirements in the proposal that we had been asked to respond to was they wanted some indication that the region has infrastructure for agriculture and places some importance on that. And it's been really a pleasure to be able to, combine the work that SEDCOR's been doing around ag tech, along with Shemeketa's commitment to agriculture with their ag complex, and even NREC, Oregon State University Extension, and their recent expansion into hydroponic research and resources up in, I guess it's just in Clackamas County, but for our region. So I think we make a really good argument for these types of businesses. And interesting to note, these are the kinds of folks that they want to be in cities. They require water and sewer. So it's a different kind of agriculture. And when you look at how our land use rules work, we have some cities that actually say we don't want agriculture in them. McMinnville, I think, has it's not an allowable use. So we do have some opportunities, I think, here to take a look at how we encourage this kind of technological opportunity. And finally, we talked about this before. I don't think we were able to use the name, but it's now public. New building coming in, a 400,000 square foot building by Gensco. It's an HVAC manufacturing and distribution facility. They put in a distribution facility to serve Oregon and Southwest Washington here in Salem maybe 2 years ago. I think it opened up during the pandemic. And this is a facility that'll be serving West Coast, so it's a much broader geographic area, and notably will also be having manufacturing in it. So 40% of the jobs there will be manufacturing jobs, and metal workers, and benders, and fabricators. And they're looking at 100 to start and 200 jobs total. So exciting project here.
Where is that going to be located?
That's going into Mill Creek. That's going to be a tenant of the Scannell property over there.
Okay.
And one of the other areas that we're involved in is innovation and entrepreneurship, and just a couple highlights. We've talked about the Oregon Angel Food opportunity around venture capital for food manufacturers in the region. We will be hosting, this is an Oregon Entrepreneurs Network kind of statewide initiative that we are hosting in Marion County. It'll be at the Chemeketa Ag Complex on September 23rd. We're also building on, coincidentally, I think this opens up, maybe it's next week, the new farmers market that Chemeketa will be hosting at the
Yeah,
Ag
it
Complex.
is next Wednesday.
Is it? Yeah, the 10th. So they have developed an infrastructure that will serve this marketplace perfectly. So we'll be working with Kelly and Adam and other folks to be sure that Marion County food businesses that are either in the shelves already around stores or have a product that can be grown and want to get on the shelves of companies like Roth's or New Seasons or Market of Choice. This is for them, and help them also develop their pitches so that they know how to attract investment. So we're excited about this opportunity coming to the Valley. We continue to work with the Mid-Willamette Valley Innovation Hub. This is a state initiative that SEDCOR got some planning dollars for. We've contracted with Eco Northwest to put this together. There's 11 of these coming around the state. We do not know if there's actual money to implement, but the messages that we are sending, and they also seem to be consistent among the other regions, is we do need resources to help entrepreneurs with how to do pitch decks, how to grow a scalable business, whether it's food products or technology, how to attract investment. So that venture catalyst kind of position that Mike White holds, we've been trying to keep him busy with other sources of funding, but to have actual sustainable funding for a position like that around the state for different regions is important. And also having the types of resources that are available through Oregon Manufacturing Extension Partnership to allow expertise to go into manufacturers that we have and say, how can you be more productive? What kinds of technology can we innovate with? That builds into the Oregon State University process that they've also have received funding for a study for a Center of Innovation Excellence, which would be an industry-specific resource for innovation. And they are leaning on SEDCOR as a potential pilot location for if they have resources from the state to actually implement the plan. But for us, I think we're hoping that it allows for some development of some of OSU's resources that have now been kind of limited to Portland, like the Food Innovation Center. So packaging assistance, new product opportunities, trying to help our growers understand what the new future markets are for new products to grow. So we're excited about those opportunities and really pleased to be at the table with them. We did hold a processors roundtable earlier in the year to provide them input as to what the needs are of our existing businesses around innovation and also what their resources are, because we do have businesses like Kettle, Chips, and Ingredion that actually have research facilities co-located with them here in the region. And finally, 2 weeks down the road, we have our first sort of boot camp around specific ag tech startups. This is being done with Ag Launch, our national partner, but we're calling it Cultivate Northwest. And this is a way, I think actually, one of the businesses that we referred to earlier, the vertical agriculture company is going to be one of the ones that may not need the help with the pitching as much, but we're going to have legal expertise there to help them about how to secure protection for their information, information on developing new markets. We've got a variety of different speakers coming in for the 3 days there, so it should be a great boost for us so far to see is where the future of these new startups can be and how we attract them into our region. I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Any questions?
I don't have any questions.
We know a guy or a gal.
That's our tagline. That's what Nick always says. He's not the no man. He's like, I don't know, but I know a guy or a gal. I'll get you an answer.
I fix things.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know stuff, we fix
Just
things. That
connect
was,
the dots.
was our, been brainstorming other ones lately, that was the
Yeah.
one I liked, fix things.
Sounds like a
The
commission.
great convener.
Very good. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
We sure appreciate it.
Thank you for participating in the Mount Angel.
Yeah,
welding
that
shop
was-
last week too.
Yeah,
That was
that was a fun one.
great.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, Nick. Nice to see you.
Those
Eric.
are easy.
Good to see you too.
Okay, next up, we're gonna consider an order approving the vacation of a 60-foot wide strip of land.
No, it's just
Oh, you
consent.
just want to take it
Oh,
with
it's consent. Oh, I'm sorry. We just have one item. Okay. Who's on the consent agenda?
I am.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the consent calendar under Public Works in order for the vacation of a 60-foot strip of land situated in the southeast 1/4 of Section 14, Township 8 South, Range 2 West of the Willamette Meridian on a portion of 82nd Avenue Southeast, and vesting the vacated property equally to the abutting property owners Michael and Megan Jackson and Melvin and Alma Johnson.
I'll second the
We
motion.
have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. The motion passes. All right, and now I'm going to recess us as a Board of Commissioners and convene a contract review board. And we're going to consider an order approving the sole source procurement, the award of a medical examiner transportation contract to Synergy First Call Mortuary Incorporated. Come on down.
For the record, Toby Giddings with the Finance Department.
Welcome.
Thank you. Finance Department was approached by the District Attorney's Office to put in place a contract with Synergy First Call. A request for information was posted on the Marion County Gateway and on Oregon Buys for 7 days, reaching out to see if there was any feedback or protest to the county conducting a sole source procurement. No feedback was received, so we are here to request the commissioners approve sole source procurement. If approved, we will then post an additional 7 days notice of that approval, which the public will again have opportunity to comment or protest before we move into the award of a contract.
Okay, and this is for transporting folks who have died
Correct.
to various mortuaries around the county, is that right?
Correct. Decedents from the place of their passing to either a funeral home or to a facility where the medical examiner can examine the body.
Okay, and it's the medical examiner's opinion that this is the only company in the region that can do this work?
That is correct.
And so if somebody has a different opinion, then if we approve this, they need to voice that concern over the next 7 days.
That is correct.
Okay. Any questions, Commissioners?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, if you wouldn't mind, I missed the management update that this was presented at, and so I'd like Jane to just provide a brief summary of that presentation for me, because I would have some concerns, because I don't understand exactly what's happening.
Sure.
Thank you. So my recollection of the management update presentation by Robert Anderson was that the DA's office has been having difficulty getting, particularly like in off hours, individuals who have to pass to their funeral homes, and that this particular mortuary has the resources to respond to calls at all hours. And I think Commissioner Willis at the management update asked, well, how does this fit into a sole source? I have the statute pulled up. So the parameters around a sole source is the efficient utilization. I think the real question here is that the goods and services required are available from only one source. So we said, how is that only one source? And the response was, under the requirements that we need a 24-hour service, this is the only source in Marion County that we're aware of. And then I think Toby said that they did an RFI, posted it to see if other mortuaries were available to respond to this, and he said they didn't get any response. So that's my understanding of why they're here today on a sole source.
So the way that he explained it was that the old system was each mortuary would go pick up the body.
Yeah, it was a rotation.
Right, from different, I guess, regions. I guess you said the county split up in different regions and different mortuaries to pick the body. And he was saying that some of the mortuaries were having trouble getting out to pick up the bodies in a timely manner. And so what he wanted to just hire a company to pick up the bodies and deliver them to the different mortuaries rather than have each mortuary come and do it themselves, because there's a lack of consistency. And so that was the specific service that he was looking for. So it's not, my understanding is this is not a sole source contract for a single mortuary. This is a sole source contract for a single transport company.
That is correct. This does not replace funeral home services. This is just the transportation to the funeral homes.
For people who do not have a funeral home already picked out for their loved one.
Well, if we pick out funeral home A, this company would transport the decedent to that funeral home.
I understood it that if I had a funeral home picked out, that they would go, and if I was working with the funeral home, they would still take care of all that. This was for people who didn't. And the other thing that came out in the management update was the amount of deaths that the number of this situation has increased drastically in the last few years for this service.
Well, it's unfortunate that I missed that management update, because I'm not comfortable actually supporting this right now. I have a different understanding of the structure around how the organizations in the community operate. And
so my understanding is again, what we were told at management update was that the different mortuaries have been communicated with about this.
do you know how they were communicated with?
No, but if we approve this, and obviously you don't have to
Yeah.
vote in favor of it, you can vote however you like, there's a period of time where somebody can protest this decision, and if that happens, then it would go through the RFP process, right? Isn't that how that would work?
Correct.
What's the period of time for a protest to occur?
A minimum is 7 days. We can make it longer if we are directed or asked to do so.
Thank you.
So that made me feel comfortable moving forward with it at management update.
I think my concern is that, while you do an excellent job of following the law, the law doesn't require us to expand our communication efforts outside of a computer and or posting on a website. And I have been, my previous life on the very clear understanding that if individuals don't understand the process of government, they're often left out of the conversation or access to the conversation or contract. And I'm concerned about this particularly, how even if it is just transport, most people in life don't understand what happens upon someone's death. I experienced this when my mother died, and it was a very clunky and emotional and frustrating process for me. And I don't want to, I'd be concerned that this particular process kind of corners people into a specific cost category if there's only one provider. And I think it potentially could harm the concept of the market and how fees are assessed or how, kind of what the scale looks like. And that is uncomfortable to me also. So because of that, I'm not gonna support this today because I don't think I have enough information, and I will be letting the district attorney know that I think that there has to be a more comprehensive process anytime you ask for a sole source that definitely restricts people's ability to make a free choice in something that is as overwhelming as death. So just nothing against the contractor, but the process for sure.
Yeah, I think as I recall, the price was low. It was a set price. So I don't know that the contractor has the ability to change the price for transport if we have this contract.
And I just don't, thank you for that.
Yeah.
But I think that this process isn't sufficient for my ability to be comfortable in supporting it.
Yeah.
That doesn't,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if somebody has concerns with the process like Commissioner Bethel, and they want us to do an RFP, and they don't think that there's only one organization that can do this, then I would encourage them to reach out and file a protest, because the information we've gotten is that there's only one company who wants to do this work. And so, with that information, I'm comfortable moving forward, but I'm also comfortable being wrong. So if somebody is watching and says, nope, that's not the case, please let us know. So, okay, Sure, Cameron.
So, Mr. Chair, I'll move that we approve an order approving the sole source procurement for the award of a medical examiner transportation contract with Synergy First Call Mortuary, Inc.
I'll second the motion. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
The motion passes. Thank you, Toby. Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Okay.
You're Spider-Man.
We are going to adjourn as a contract review board and reconvene as a board of commissioners. Is there anything else for the good of the order before we adjourn this meeting, Commissioner?
I think so.
Commissioner Cameron?
I think we are.
Well, actually, next week, I want to verify, because Eric mentioned it, and I think it'd be great for the public to attend. Next week at 3 p.m. at the Agricultural Building at the Schmecketa campus is the ribbon cutting for the new Wednesday Farmers Market.
No fun.
I'm really excited to go because I think farmers markets are amazing, and I'm sad there's not one here in the bus mall anymore. But I look forward to the East Salem community having access to fresh and local produce and goods, kind of at a walking distance, if you will. Plus, we get to visit that beautiful building. So
Cool.
it's from 3 to 4.
Cool. All right. Let's do it. All right, with that, we are adjourned.
Excuse me?